Good morning, YouTube, and welcome to part 3 of my sublimation project where I am making photo masks for a memorial service. And I got an order to do 50, and then the order increased to 70. So in the first video, I showed you how to cut the fabric with the template that I had, and then in the next video, I showed you how to sublimate the mask. And then in this video, I'm going to show you how I sew the mask and put the elastic in the mask. So I've already pinned my two pieces together. The lining piece I cut the same way I cut the fabric that I sublimate on. So I have some mask here that I'm going to sew. So I only pin at the chin part and the nose part. Those are the only parts that I pin in the mask. And then, and this is what they look like when I sew them. I just sew the chin part there, and I sew the nose part there with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. And on my machine, I use a 6.5 stitch width with a 2.0 stitch length. And I'm using my Baby Lock Allure sewing and embroidery combo. I've had this machine since 2003. My husband bought it for my birthday, brand new. And it does a 5x7 embroidery hoop, a 4x4, and then I think like a 2x2 or something like that. And I've had it for quite a while, and I love it. It's a workhorse, and I've been using it. I also have a used Baby Lock Elagio, which does a 6x10, which I just got out of the shop. I put that in a local shop because it broke down during the summertime when I was doing quite a few mask projects. So when that one broke down, I pulled this one out. I let that one sit for a long time, and then I finally put it in the shop. And I took it to one shop, and they said it was going to cost like a whole lot of money, and I was like, nah. So I knew that there was a retired guy who still picks up your sewing machines at a shop in the area, so I dropped it off there at the beginning of the year, and he had it fixed within a week, and I got it back from him, and it cost me $150, and he cleaned it and everything. And that was the machine that I used to do the baby blanket on, and that's on my channel as well. So I'm going to go ahead and start sewing this part of the mask. And I just sewed the, let me put it down just a little bit. I just sew along the edges. You can't see on the other side, but, and then I will flip it and sew the other way. And I chain sew because I have so many of them that I'm doing. I just kind of chain sew my pieces. So I'll sew this piece, sew off a little bit, and then I'll pick up the next one without breaking or cutting my thread. And then I will, sorry it's so sunny in here. I tried to do the video this morning, but before the sun came up, I'm going to have to change those curtains. I made those curtains, the bottom part of the fabric, you can probably see it was some quilting cotton that I had that I wasn't going to do anything with, so I just made some curtains out of them, and they've worked. But now I need to find a way to block the sun out. So I just put my next piece under the sewing machine without breaking the thread from the first piece, and continue to sew along the edges. And you can pin in more places. I don't pin, I just only pin at the chin and the nose part, and I don't pin any other part. But if you're a beginner and you need to put more pins, feel free to put more pins. So I'll just keep chaining my pieces in. Depending on how many masks I have to do, I'll just keep chaining my pieces in. And then I never break the thread. I'll adjust it if I need to. If it's getting off, I'll just pick up the layers and just adjust them on top of each other, or pull down if I need to. But like I said, feel free to pin if you need to add more pins to your project. So let's say I've sewn a whole bunch that I need to, then I'll break my thread And then now I have these 3 pieces sewn together, and I didn't break the thread. So then I'll just go and I'll just take it on the other side, and I'll just start seaming on the other side. That way it saves thread, it saves you stopping and going and breaking the thread and doing all those things. I pull my pins out most of the time, so I don't want to break a needle. That could fly in your eye. I wear glasses, but you know, it still could fly in your eye though. So I just sew it. And then since I'm making so many, I'll just continue this process for quite a few before I go to the next step. So I'll just keep pinning, I'll just keep sewing them. Once I have them all sewn, what I'll do is I'll take them. Now they're all sewn on both sides. I just sew along the edge. You can see the seams. And then I'll take them and I will cut them apart. I will cut them apart, and then I will take them and I will turn them inside out. I'll just stick my finger in there, take it and pull it inside out. And then I have my mask. And let's see, did I do an angel one, the other? Okay, so this is one of the 2 masks that I'm making. I'm making 2 different ones for a family. These are memorial masks. The lady lost her brother in July of 2020, and she lost her sister in February, and she lost her grandmother in January. I didn't make any masks for the grandmother, but I did make masks for the brother's service, and now I'm making masks for the sister's service. So that's why this one says Our Angels, because it has her brother and her sister on there. So once I'm done with all the sewing on both sides and I've sewn them all together, then I will take them to my iron and iron them flat. So I usually will start at the nose piece and kind of press there, and then kind of put my fingers in the middle and kind of fan it out and finger press it to stitch down to press the other side. But once I've done that, I'll have one at the next steps already. So once I've pressed it, it's all nice and pressed. What I'll do once I press it and turn it inside out is, like, I'll take it and I'll fold it here and I'll press there. And then I'll take that fold and press, and then I'll stick it on the inside. Like, these are on the inside already. Like, I'll show you what I mean, like on here. So I'll take this apart, and then I'll stick those on the inside. And then I'll just kind of finger press it with my finger. Usually I'll press it at the iron, but since I'm not at the iron right now, I will just show you what I do. I'll stick it in there, and I will just press with my fingers. So then now I have, it's ready to stick some elastic in and do the elastic part. So I have cut a whole bunch of elastic. A friend gave me this big old, sorry about that, my phone is ringing. My friend gave me this big elastic. She thought it was 1/4 inch, and it's 1/8 of an inch, and she didn't like it, so she didn't have any use for it, so she blessed me with it. Thank you, Renee. I really appreciate it, because I ran out of, my daughter doing my mask making bought me 2 of these, a white one and a black one, and I've ran out of the black one, and so I still have this much of the white one, but now I have this whole big roll of black, so I have black and white. So what I did was I cut a bunch of strips, and I cut them at 7 inches. That way, if someone has it and it is too big, they can just tie a knot. I'd rather cut the elastic too big than too small. So I cut the elastic. So now what I'll do, and I just keep them in a drawer that I made. So now what I'll do is I'll take the 2 elastics. I'm going to do 2 white ones and 2 black ones. So I'll take the elastic and I'll stick the elastic down inside the mask on the side, and then I'll take a pin and I will pin it. If you are doing white fabric, be very careful because you don't want to poke yourself, because if you're using white fabric, you will bleed on the fabric. Ask me how I know. So then I'll just put my elastics in there and pin them. Pin both sides of my elastic. And sometimes my elastic, I just have to adjust it to make sure that the sides are the same. So I just pin right through the elastic and the fabric. See, I pin right through the elastic and right through the fabric. And then I'll just pick them up and kind of see if they're kind of like the same. And it looks like this one's a little bit longer. So then I'll just take one side of it and just stick it in just a little bit more to get it a little bit more even with the other side. And then I'll just readjust it, and they're about the same size now. And then I'll do this one. And you can sew with your seam allowance at the seam allowance you have, or you can make it a little bit smaller if you desire. I am going to adjust mine. It's at 6.5 right now, and I want a little bit smaller seam allowance, so I'm going to adjust my machine and put it at 7.0 and still leave it at 2.0. Sorry if my head's cut off a little bit, trying to adjust everything. And then, so those two came out to about the same size. So then I'm going to adjust my machine to go to 7.0. And then I will just put that even under my presser foot. And I already have some blue thread that I've been working with and some cream thread in the bobbin to match the inside and the outside. And I'll do this project the same exact way. I back stitch. I don't back stitch when I'm doing the other parts except for the nose. I'll start here at the end, and then I'll back stitch on the inside part at the nose. Here, I'll back stitch on the inside parts, but I don't back stitch at the beginning and the end because that seam's going to be crossed over again. But on the mask, I back stitch a few times because of the elastic. I want it to stay in there really well, so I'll back stitch a couple of times. I'm not going to break my thread because I assembly line sew, so I usually do one part and then I'll do the next part, and I won't break the thread, and I will just continue to go back stitching at the beginning and the end to catch the elastic in there really good. I'll cut my thread, and now these two have been sewn and I never broke the thread. So then I'll just turn it around and I'll put the other side in there. Uh-oh, I lost my elastic on this side, so let me put my elastic back over here. And I made the elastic a little bit bigger, so they'll be able to tie it if it's too big. If they find it's too big. So then I will put the other side underneath the machine, and then I will keep pressing. I will keep sewing. And now I have these two, and the elastic is in there. The elastic is on that side, and on that side. Then I will take my scissors. I will cut them apart. I'll cut it apart. And now I have the mask is complete. So here's one mask, and here is the other. Here's the other mask. So I hope that you have enjoyed this series on how to sublimate, sew, and how to do a sublimation mask project from start to finish, how to cut the fabric, and all of that. And I will try to remember to link the video, not link the video, but link the person who I got the tutorial from and the mask shape from. But you can find this mask shape, just search for mask on Google or Pinterest or something like that, and I'm sure you can find this shape and a whole bunch of other shapes. I picked this shape, and I've been doing this shape for a long time because it's just one piece. I don't have to sew two pieces together and then, you know, sublimate on one half and one half. This way I can sublimate on the whole thing and just sew a nose and a chin part. So these have been my favorite. These are what I've done all year long. I did make a few others in the beginning, but then I stopped. So this is a whole, these are all completed. I just need to cut some of the threads off. These are some of the projects of the mask that I've already done and completed. So I do have some other things that I've made to go along with this. I'm making some special projects for the family because the family, I do know this family. So I'm making the person who requested the mask, I'm making her some special projects. So I will come back and show you when I'm done with the whole project, all of the other projects that I've made, the special projects to go along with them as a thank you gift and as a blessing to the person who commissioned me to make the mask for their family. So I hope you have enjoyed this video. Remember to give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when I upload new videos. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. Thank you for watching. I appreciate each and every one of my subscribers, and I hope you have a blessed Saturday. Thank you for watching. You have an awesome and an amazing day. Be blessed. Bye-bye.